If you're interested in giveaways, this might be the video for you. Good morning, everybody. Well, we're back here at the river, and we're going to basically figure on this as being our river series. I'm more of a bass fisherman, but as we all do, we throw that trout stamp on our license just in case we grab that trout or we want to fish trout waters. So if you're going to be fishing river waters that they stock trout on, definitely want to have that trout stamp. Even if you're fishing for smallmouth bass or walleye on the river, you still need that trout stamp just in case. Today, I have a couple rods. When I first started this YouTube channel, I was kind of thinking, oh, I should do a giveaway or something like that and test rods up against each other. So that's just what we're gonna do. This is an Ozark Trail rod that I picked up at Walmart. I spent $9.98 for this rod. $9.98. So if you want to get into fishing and you're like not really sure if it's for you, this rod is complete. The only thing it doesn't really come with is a hook. Comes with line, comes with a pretty decent feeling reel. I mean, it's certainly not a high-end rod by any means. Even the guides, it's got plastic guides. I wouldn't say they're ceramic, but this is a medium light. It's got pretty good flex on it. We're gonna throw this rod together. We're gonna throw in a few different items, see how it works. Normally what I'm fishing is this beautiful St. Croix ultralight rod. And this rod has some wonderful feel to it. And I thought it would be kind of cool. We could try out a second rod and get a feel for it. So here's what we're looking at. It's actually got a smaller reel. As far as height, you can see, this is a 6'6". So I'm gonna say this rod's probably only about a 5'8", maybe, if we're lucky. So I'm gonna start gearing this one up. We'll get it tied on. You can see they strapped this on so no one will steal it. And we're gonna get this guy ready. It's made in China. Whoop, China. So, hey, if you wanna throw that barcode in, you can go buy one yourself. So like I said, this is an Ozark Trail. Bought at Walmart for $9.98. Can't beat the price. If you want to get out there and just try it, try fishing, see if you like it. To be honest with you, this rod is going to cost you less than it is your fishing license. So let's get out there and do some fishing. Here we go. So while I'm lining up this rod, comes with some monofilament clear. If I had to guess, I'd say 8-pound test. That's my thinking anyway. So I bought this rod as a potential test rod and maybe a potential giveaway rod, which we just might do. Watch this video to the end and we'll decide whether or not she's a keeper or if she's a rod that we'd like to give away. If you're interested in giveaways, this might be the video for you. We'll include that towards the end of the video. Figure on watching the whole video or just skip right to the back and find out whether or not we're giving this rod away or not. Like I said, we're gonna put it up head to head against our St. Croix rod. That's a tall challenge. We're talking $9.98 out of Walmart, Ozark Trail, to a pretty much, probably by the time everything's said and done, maybe a $225 St. Croix rod. I don't know if we're gonna give that one away. Maybe the Ozark Trail. Okay, let's get this tied on. We're gonna tie on a trout magnet on this one and see what happens. Okay, so as I'm getting these two rods ready, or actually getting this rod ready, one of the first drawbacks that I've noticed to the rod is that it has no place to hook your bait. So I'm hooking it right into the foam. These are going to be foam rather than cork. Cork is going to be quite a bit more expensive when it comes to your rods, but no place to, it doesn't have a little keeper to put your bait like some of our more expensive rods. So that is one thing to think about. They do sell keeper holders. You're bringing your price level up, so easy enough to just hook it in there. You could hook it into an eyelet if you want. It's a little tough for me to hook up into an eyelet because I've got the weighted bobber on, but that was something I noticed as I was getting ready to walk down towards the river. we're walking down the trail here, and I was here the other day, and the river was pretty high. Still looks to be a bit high, so we're gonna get ourselves down to the river. We're gonna get quiet and try to sneak down on them. I don't know if it really makes a difference or not, but that's what we're gonna try to do. We're at the spot. Actually, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get to that spot or not. Kind of an island down there, right? Kind of an island. We'll start at the spot. I have caught fish here before, and this is where this steep incline is. We'll get ourselves down on that pad and get ripping it. See if we can get some fish. Well, I see a boot mark there. We may have had somebody here. Whoa, I almost went down. That could be for me yesterday. So we're gonna keep it real quiet and see if we can catch a fish. I'm hunting wabbit. So I've been doing a lot of videos with point of view, where I put on a chest cam. This video is not going to include any of that. You know, it just gets kind of boring watching me do this. Like, you're here with me. So welcome. Thanks for coming along. I appreciate you coming along fishing with me. I brought 2 rods, one for you, one for me. You could start off with my St. Croix rod, and I'll start off with our $9.98 Walmart Ozark Trail Rod with the Trout magnet on it. So these are 2 rods we're going to be working. Here's the rod you can use, and I'll use our new Ozark Trail $9.98 Ozark Trail Rod. So let's give them a shot, see if we can't catch a fish or 2. I'm okay with 3. I'm okay with 3. I'm already tangled up. Great start. There we go. Okay, first cast for our $9.98 Ozark Trail Rod medium light. Let's see how it casts. Not awful. Not god awful. So we're gonna have a lot of this coiling in there. Who knows how old this rod is? This rod could have been built in China years and years ago. Who knows? Who knows? So we're running a trout magnet. I am running it on a bobber only because we're getting a little tangled up here. And I'm not going to blame that on the rod. I'm going to blame that on these coiled up monofilament. We're going to need to get some stretch on this. So let's go ahead and bring this in. We'll try to stretch this out. We're going to need to get a couple casts out that we can kind of just stretch out our monofilament. I think that's fighting us a little bit. Got hooked up on the bottom. Let's bring him back, get a couple casts going on this. This reel's pretty nice for $9.98. So basically what we're going to start off doing here is we want to get this monofilament to stretch out a bit. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the casting. Not bad at all. I think once I get this monofilament stretched out, we're going to be pretty pleased. I'm just about able to cast to the other side of the river. And you can see the river's still pretty quick. It's got my bobber going pretty good there. So my jig head is just basically following along, swimming down river. I'm always so surprised when I come here. This is a stocked river. It's Sunday morning and there's no one else here. I know the water's been high. It's a chilly morning. It rained all day yesterday. So, you know, they might be thinking, you know what, there's no fish going to be there. So we're going to let the spool out a little bit. Basically, I'm spooling this out to get some nice pull on this monofilament to let it kind of stretch out a little bit so we can get rid of some of that coiling. And my bobber's way down there. Okay, so we're just about getting to the end of the spool, and they gave me a substantial amount of line. So we didn't get anything on the drag down. So now we're going to bring this back. Again, this is our Ozark Trail Wayfarer. It is a 5.6 medium light, which is perfect for what we're doing. 6 to 10 pound monofilament test is what it calls for, and that's why I think it gave us an 8 in my opinion. Could be wrong, it could be a 6. But we're going to be able to get good stretch here. You can see my line is pulling out pretty well here. And let's get this in. These first couple runs are going to be really good for getting this monofilament stretched out. I got the sun on my back, so it's probably going to be a little bit hard to see me. I wanted to get you guys a couple different views. Not a bad little rod. Not a bad little rod. The fish don't know what you're fishing with. Do I have a ton of feel? Hard to say. I'm fishing bobber right now, so really I feel the bobber tugging. If I catch a fish, we'll know if I get good feel. Probably if I'm running something a little bit more on the bottom, which this is not really the style rod for that. Maybe I'll run a spinner to kind of get an idea how it feels with a rooster tail. That's what we have tied on our St. Croix. I've had most of my success so far with spinner. Rooster tail is what I've been using. An array of colors. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I don't hate this rod. I'm not hating it. For $9.98, I mean, I didn't even break $10. Well, after sales tax I did. Great way to get involved in fishing. Grab yourself a couple trout magnets. Of course, then you got the bobber. Ugh. All right, so maybe I'm into it with the bobber and the rod and, you know, everything it comes with, which is pretty much everything. Maybe I'm into it for $12, $15, no, maybe just under $20. I don't want you to think you can just go out and buy a rod for $9 and get out there and get fishing. Every state has different local laws when it comes to fishing licenses. Of course, if you want to go trout fishing, then you're going to need a trout stamp. That can get kind of pricey. Believe it or not, my fishing license and my trout stamp costs more than my entire setup. So Ozark Trail is kind of the Walmart brand. Someone's making this stuff for them. And I'm going to say, just quickly looking at it, I'm going to say that Shakespeare has a hand in it. Some of the design is very similar to some of the low-end Shakespeare rods. So here's one of our other crappy parts of this. So our drag on this is not so great. You hardly have even a quarter turn, and it's about all my drag. You do want some drag, but it's so little as far as where you turn it for your drag. I mean, I'm just 16th turning it, if that. So the drag's a little bit of a letdown so far. Casting wise, it's been a pretty decent caster. I'm gonna get a better feel for that once we have, excuse me, it is chilly here. I think we just had a little hit. Not awful. Setting the drag, it's basically less than half a turn from completely locked up to extreme, just free flow. So the drag on this is not great, but again, I can find the setting I like. That's not bad. You know, I can always lock it in as I'm going, but I think for trout, you're catching small fish really. Trout are not huge. You know, well, there are huge trout out there, but for what they're stocking, it's pretty sad, really. We're gonna sink this in where I don't think it's too bad. Oh, that was high and up, high and right. A little bit of an area here that we've got some stall. You can see my bobber's just kind of hanging out there. That's where you want to be, unless I'm hooked up on something. Well, we certainly went down like we were. Oh, well, we got that on video, didn't we? All right, we hooked into this little branch right here, and it made us look kind of dopey. Let's try that again. This time without hooking a branch. This time without hooking a branch. So what are you guys doing today? It's Sunday. So right now I know you're watching YouTube. Hope you're enjoying your morning. Hope you have a nice cup of coffee there, or hot chocolate or tea, and you're enjoying the morning. If you have an opportunity, get on out there, do some fishing. It's been really cold here in New Jersey, so the fishing's been not great. Not great. I came out here a little bit yesterday, which was Saturday. That was a nightmare. I did catch one fish, almost had him. You know, I just tried to boat flip him up on land and I ended up losing him. Not disappointed at all with the casting. Actually, I would say that's probably one of the nicest things that I've noticed yet with this, is it casts very well. The reel, for what it is, it's not bad. It's not bad for less than $10. It's not a bad setup. Not a bad setup. Only drawback so far to me has been the drag. Oh. Did I hit that branch again? I think I might have. Yeah, so I'm almost to the other riverbank, which is nice because the water doesn't fly through there. But boy, once I catch that center of the river, just whoosh, it just rips it away. I think this rod so far has been perfect for this style fishing with the bobber. No, I haven't brought anything in yet, but I mean, as far as the casting, because we got some weight on that bobber, the bobbers are weighted. And just pulling that little trout magnet through, it's been working out really well. Can't beat the price. I mean, I've been fishing. I haven't put the rod down yet, so it's not like, oh my God, I'm disgusted. I gotta get rid of this thing. So this morning, I've not seen any evidence that any fish are even here. Once in a while, you'll kind of see them swim by and stuff, but not today. I haven't seen it as of yet. So I told my wife I'm going out to get bagels. How do you like my way of getting out to fish on a Sunday morning? Hey, so I've been fishing the Ozark Trail Rod here for a little bit, and one of my thoughts was, oh boy, you know, let's get on that Rooster tail and see what the Rooster tail can do. And we're gonna stay with the Ozark Trail, and we're gonna put a spinner on it, a different color spinner. This way, if we want to change over on the colors, we could switch over. 1/8 ounce white Rooster tail, and we're gonna tie him on. This is a very light spinner. Rooster tails aren't too expensive either. They're pretty affordable. So if you just wanted to get one rooster tail, you know, if I catch a fish and you're like, oh crap, Kirk caught a fish with a rooster tail, I should probably buy a rooster tail. Of course, Kirk can't tie a knot. I've got a kind of a brownish one on the other rod. We're gonna go for trying out what this rooster tail here, and this, we're gonna stay with our Ozark Trail, and let's see how this works. Let's get a sip of coffee while we're here. Here's to you and all the subscribers. Thank you, appreciate it. Nothing beats a cup of coffee in the morning. I don't know if you're coffee drinkers, but if you are, welcome. If you're not, have a cup of tea. Okay, here we are. This is our first cast with the Ozark Trail and a spinner. I don't know if the eyelets are just a little bit weird and hanging, but I seem to be hanging up a lot with this this particular rod. So let's get you up here a little bit and let's go for broke. Let's make it happen. Kind of weak. This is only an 1/8 ounce lure, so it is light. It is light. Let's give it another. Oh no. Oh no. Here's where it all goes wrong for the Ozark Trail. Let's see what we got here. As you can see, we're all knotted up here. We got a very light lure on, an 1/8 ounce rooster tail, and we have some problems here. So we got some uncoiling to do. Let's see if we can get this undone. This is not good for the Ozark Trail. Not good at all. Last thing you want to be doing when you're fishing is have to deal with the ship. All right? And I'm going to leave that in there because that is exactly what you're dealing with. So we're going to be trying to unknot this up, see what we got here. Because not only that, your lure's down there, hanging out on the bottom, probably hanging up against some piece of wood. The trouble is we don't have a bobber on there that's going to suck out our slack. So this is bad. This is bad for the Ozark Trail. And I'll probably time lapse this. I'm gonna put a timer out there to kind of show you what I'm dealing with rather than fishing. You know, we're trying to get a knot out. Knots are not fun. We're getting there. I think we're getting close here. Yeah, this is bad with a capital B. Capital B bad. All right, so what's happening now is we've unlooped, and we've got to get down to where that loop is. The trouble is, the more we do that, the more we have a potential of, if we have to unknot this, losing more line. Well, if nothing else, maybe this will make for good content of what to expect if you get an Ozark Trail. Okay, we finally got to a point where we're single line now. So I think we're going to be successful. Your first thought is I'm just going to pull right through and just get it to come right out. But that doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. Sometimes I'm kind of curious to see when we do the editing, how much time has been wasted on trying to take a knot out instead of maybe catching that trophy trout. Woo, we got it. All right, we got it. Now, at this point, I'm a little bit nervous to continue throwing this. And as I said, now we're hung up. And that's usually what happens when you get locked up. So we got it. Light casts. Can barely get it out there. Barely get it out there. 8th is tough. We still have a little bit of coil in our line, our monofilament. So that could be creating some of the issues. We hooked up on this stupid branch. I got a tree limb down here. And I hooked up on this the other day and lost another lure. And I was just trying to take my time. I didn't yank on it yet, so we're gonna try to move down and see if we can save it. I did get it. But while I was getting it, I could see my other lure sitting there looking at me. Okay, the more I throw this, the more I get used to the weight, the better I'm doing. As I said, as I fish along and I get used to the rod and what the rod wants, I'm able to fish this 8th. Have I caught anything? No, I haven't. But my casts are getting a little more distance, a little more target. Not awful. So again, I'm not even gonna say a budget rod. This is a low budget rod. If you just want to get involved, you want to try this out, this might be the rod to go with. Listen, if it doesn't work out and you decide you don't want to fish, hand this rod right over to a kid. That kid will fish it. For 10 bucks, it's a great donation. Take your receipt, put it in as a contribution. There's a kid out there who wants this rod. A kid out there who has never had the opportunity, their parents can't afford a rod. You know, just trying to put food on the table. That might be exactly what we do with this rod. This rod may be given to a young new fisherman that wants to give it a shot. Maybe I'll even bring him along and say, hey, listen, here's a couple rods here for you. Let's go fishing. Take him fishing. At the end of the day, I'll present him with the rod. I'll be like, hey, listen, this rod's for you. Enjoy it. You know, here's your first rod. Here's a rod to get started with. I'm sure my parents, when they bought my first rod when I was a kid, they're like, well, we're not going to buy him anything expensive. He's probably going to be throwing it around and beating the crap out of it. So we're not going to buy him an expensive rod, which happened to be a Shakespeare. Boy, was that thing a noisy little thing. Yeah, so now that I've been casting this a few times, I'm really starting to feel out the rod and feel how the rod likes to react. I'm pleased with the rod. Like I said, it gave me a little bit of a hard time with the, you know, with that spool up. I've had that happen on other rods. Taking that knot out was a lot of fun. But one of my big issues that I dealt with is the drag. The drag, that's something that can't be fixed. Something you would have to deal with. All right, let's bring this guy in. Like I said, the other issue was no place to really hook up your bait when you're not fishing. But listen, when we were kids, that was the way we did it. We hooked it to one of the eyelets. So we're gonna throw our St. Croix with our Fluger reel, and we're gonna be fishing this little gem here. And let's get this guy out now. Oh, this is an 1/8 ounce also. So right off the bat, I've thrown this a million times. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna cast quite a bit different. So first cast. probably getting another 15 feet on cast. But you get what you pay for. You know, if you make the investment in a high dollar rod, you're gonna get more out of it. More distance, better feel. Now this is a chartreuse and orange color spinner. Oh yeah, quite a difference as far as my casting. So on the budget rods, you're not gonna get the cast, but you're out there. You're certainly out there, you can certainly fish. So it doesn't look like we're gonna have any success today. I don't know where all the fish went. For the most part, I'm a bass fisherman. I have a trout stamp, just in case I ever catch a trout. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. It was a lot of fun for me to put together. If you were interested in that rod, we're gonna have a rod giveaway. It's probably gonna cost me more to ship that rod to you than it was to buy. If you're enjoying the video and you're interested in this rod giveaway, the fishing rod giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe. So obviously I see that you're a subscriber. Put in the comments hashtag fishing rod. Real easy, hashtag fishing rod, and we'll select the winner of the Ozark Trail Fishing Rod. We'll give you our email address. You can email us. We'll get that rod out to you. I promised my wife bagels, so I must return home with bagels immediately. I don't think there's any fish in this river. Well, at least there's no fish in here that like to eat spinners. All right, well, that concludes our fishing here on the river with our Ozark Trail and our St. Croix. So overall, obviously the St. Croix is quite a rod to be fishing with. So I really enjoy fishing with that rod. I'm not going to give it up. The Ozark Trail, listen, if I didn't have any rods and this was the rod that was in my truck and I saw a body of water, I'm fishing it with this rod. This rod was not a disappointment other than the drag. The reel's fairly smooth. The rod's got plenty of flex. We didn't catch a fish today to get a feel for what it's going to feel like when we catch a fish. If you're interested in this rod, go to the comments and type in hashtag fishing rod. We will draw a winner for this particular rod and we'll send this out to you, and you can maybe do a video and show me what your success level was with this particular rod. Maybe we got another fishing channel out there that would just like to try put it head to head against a rod that they see out there. Maybe that's you. If that's you, type in the comments hashtag fishing rod, and you will be entered into a drawing for this fishing rod. Thanks St. Croix, thanks Ozark Trail for coming along, fishing along with us. Hope you guys enjoyed. Would have loved to be able to catch a fish today. I don't think they're stock in this area, to be quite frank with you. All right, guys, like, subscribe, comment, hashtag fishing rod, and good luck to you. See you on the next one.